It's the Deweyi Drive, and you are so welcome. This show is unapologetically Ugandan, and my name is Jackie Deweyi. We come to you live every weekday on YouTube. I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you so much for subscribing. I want to thank you so much for putting in your time, for your data, and those that are giving me feedback. I do not take it for granted. I did tell you that we do have a WhatsApp line, 773-356837, and it would be so good to hear from you. So, if you're meeting me for the very first time, hello. If you're a returning subscriber, returning viewer, oh, bless your heart. I am so thankful to have you on the show. So, you know, I say that in your 20s, you're living life as research. In your 20s and your 30s, and then in your 40s, okay, in your 30s, but I feel like in your 30s, you're beginning to also, like where I am, when you go to your mid-30s, towards the end of the 30s, you'll really have taken enough research, especially the 20s, where life is just flowing. I did have a beautiful 20s. I was very successful in my 20s, I can say. I became quite famous in my 20s. I got my first radio job. I joined a big radio. I was on KFM in my 20s. I did so much in my 20s. And then towards my 30s, things started to fall apart. And you know what inspired the topic today is I was doing an audit of my life, and one of the projects that I'd given more than 10 years, that's over a decade, I realized that I had sowed on unfertile ground, and I just realized one day I would wake up and I've probably been put off that project politically and I wouldn't even know. And I was like, so much time wasted. But what do I do with all this pain? So I said, let's go to the show and I'll talk about things I wish I knew in my 20s that I wouldn't repeat right now. And I feel like this show is one place where it's so therapeutic for me. Everything I talk about on this show is because it either relates to me, because it's from the heart. So, like I did tell you, in my 20s, I was on KFM. I was a popular girl. I was shining. I was winning awards. I was everywhere. My face was on the billboards. And I was that girl that was shining and things were really going my way. But you know, like they say, woo, life happened. So anyway, how life happened, as you can see, I was winning awards. I was all over the place. So I'll go straight to the lessons. As you look through my 20s, and in that time, as I was happy, I was making happy decisions. I did not plan for people's character. I did not plan for future of how things would go wrong. I was in the papers. I was creating concepts. Literally things were just going my way. But you know what? One of the first lessons that I wish I had. I was singing, by the way. I was performing on festivals. I think that on the screen that was Power Rhythm Festival. You've had my music. One of the songs that usually starts the show is from my music, Bit of Love, and so many different songs. And the beauty with that music is, yes, anytime that I chose to come back to sing, I would probably be welcomed, because the music we do, that African music, that's the beauty with it, is I think you get finer with age. So in my 20s, things really, I did flourish. I did make lots of mistakes that, looking back now, I would not repeat. I trusted people so much. I actually was a people pleaser when I was a younger person. I had so many friends. I still do have lots of acquaintances, but in my 20s, I called everyone my friend. I'd be like, so-and-so is my friend, is my friend, and my friend. So, anyhow, let's get to the lessons as you learn from my 20s that were flourishing, and I was everywhere that I needed to be. Number one, that friends, not everyone is your friend. Not everyone is your friend. Some people are meant to be in your life for just that period. So you'll have so many friends, and you think all these people are great people. And most importantly is, people will not forget how you made them feel. Over the years, I've met people who say, I listened to you on a particular show at night, especially I think the days of the K-Zone, and you saved my relationship, you saved my marriage. So people will actually forget what you were, but they will not forget how you made them feel. So that is one of those lessons I take from my 20s up to date. The way people make me feel and how they carelessly do not even care how they hurt my emotions. And I'm like, oh, this is actually how life works. And those are things I wish I knew earlier, because some of these relationships you have wasted your time on for so long, and you have messed your life up, you have wasted so much time, and there's nothing now you can do but start afresh. And the beauty is they say that in your 40s and your 50s, now you're applying that research. Maybe it's a good thing. And then, you know, one thing I didn't know, but it's important to invest in friendships. While, yes, I say not everyone is your friend, having many, but those few friends, oh my goodness, how did I forget to share a picture with you of my best friend, but maybe some other time, my best friend Judith at Team. Like, there's some few friendships I have nurtured and invested in that actually over the years have been worth it. And also, the idea of love in our 20s, it's an idea. It's an idea. Like, everything, when you find the man and he tells you, you will listen. But as you grow up, you realize the power of having maybe also invested in yourself as a person. Not in a bad way. Even if you're in a marriage right now, or you're new in a marriage, for a marriage to be successful, to avoid petty wars, you need to also create your space as a woman, to have your own business and not wake up one day when maybe you thought you're doing a business with your partner and now you're no longer part of it and you're in shock. Instead of being shocked, you're like, okay, I'll heal. I was learning while working with my partner, but this is on the side something I have built. So some of these lessons, I wish I had learned earlier, because when you are working with someone else, you're not in control. It is great to work with a team. It's great to build. It's great to be so trusting and give your entire heart 101 plus or 150 and over. But then, what about you? What happens to you when they suddenly put you where you belong because you didn't plan your life? You have been putting, you know, that picture, by the way, is one of my favorite pictures. I do plan to frame it. That was Dave and Jackie on the K Drive. That was our billboard. And that show was #1, the Driver English show at the time. And Dave Woodmall and I are still great friends. But yes, that picture, 4 to 7, the show started at 4 p.m. and stopped at 7 p.m. So you see how beautiful my 20s were. Like I told you, my 20s were full of color. And they were brilliant and just happy 20s. So it's also okay. It's also okay to be nice to everyone, but most importantly in your 20s, if there's something you should invest in the most, it should be your family. It should be your mom. It should be your siblings. It should be your family. Like, because the people we meet are going to do that. While you think the family you have created with a man, the children are priority. Yes, they are. I love my children, my sons. They are my world. But as you grow, you should look back and you're like, had I not invested some good time in my family, loving them, yes, they will annoy you. You are human beings, just like you had your parents and your siblings. But at the end of the day, they probably are the only thing you have. When your partner runs and abandons you for another woman or for their immediate family because that is where their heart is, you don't go back to an empty space. You also have fallback. So one of the lessons, okay, this one, not that I wish I knew, this one I always knew, that your immediate family, they matter so much. When the entire world walks away, they are the ones you have as fallback. Stuart, I just did share a picture with you of my mom and my sister. We had a spa day sometime. So these are things you should invest in, by the way. If I was 20 years again, I would remind myself to do these things. And you're so lucky if you're in your 20s. And if you're watching the show just now and just joining us, what are some of the things in your 20s you wish you knew? And if you're in your 20s, are you learning from these things? What are some of those things that you're happy you are learning right now? I would love to know from you. But invest in your family, invest in your, if you still have a mother, give her love. There are so many things our mom, because of the school of thought, type of parenting that they will do that maybe we feel like we don't agree with. But at the end of the day, these are the only people you have. This is all you have. Your children are part of you, yes. But again, you will be an empty mother if your mother, your siblings, or if you still are lucky enough to have a dad, if you and that family did not create a bond. You will regret, you will feel like, oh, I did miss out on important moments. So when you can, to go with your mom on a spa day. My sister did take my mom and I sometime recently. Actually, her boyfriend did take us out. And so it's very important to build friendships that matter, or relationships that matter. Find a man that values you and values your family. Not a man that's going to use you for as good as you're worth. And when they win, then you're not worth it. Because such a man, when he makes money, he's going to find a woman befitting him. You understand? But your mother will not find a daughter befitting her. You're that daughter. So that's our mom in there. I hope you're able to tell. So that me in the middle and our mom and my sister. So do these things. If you're watching and you're still young and maybe you've started making money, invest your energy in such spaces like you just saw on the screen in that video. Those are things you should do. Value family, be there for them, be there for each other. Of course, you should set boundaries even with family as you should with friends, but don't let it die that at the end of the day you have nowhere to go. You have no shoulder to cry on, you know? It's not embarrassing, it's not embarrassing to do things with your family because you got married, to go out with your mom and your siblings, like you see my mom and I, and you know, we did with my sister Barbara, and you know. So it's very, very important to have such special moments. You don't forget how you felt. Do you think our mom would forget such days, even when life is happening, and as children we're growing up and we're going through life and she's like, I don't know how to support you. She remembers that, you know what? Because friends come and go, men come and go, wives come and go, girlfriends come and go, you get divorced, you break up. But this family is everything. And like I told you earlier, some friends are just for a season and that's okay. Maybe they were supposed to help you with school. And with friends, I mean even our relationships. If it's time for a divorce, let it happen. But you're going back to where? To your mother, you're going back to your father, you're going back to your siblings. Not that you're going home to stay with them, but you have a support system emotionally. If you missed the show we did on parenting and on raising children and balancing mom life, and my friends Tina and Lynn couldn't say it any better and emphasize it, that at the end of the day, you need your emotional space, your mental well-being to be in the right place, to be a good mother. And most importantly, do not judge your life on what it looks like currently, because things change very quickly. Like you see, my 20s were the best time of my life. Honestly, if you ask me to ever go back in my life, it would be my 20s. I had money, I had medical insurance, like everything did go right. Right now, if you look at my life, it does look more colorful maybe than it was in my 20s. But was I happier then? Yes, I was young. I was living life like a free bird. But so then what would I remind my free bird self? To make savings for myself. To always have a fallback plan. To always, I never believed in this thing that many women say, to have a secret plan and secret property. Now I 100% would say it, even if my husband was here and he knows my reasons. It would be worth it. Why? Because on one rainy day, when he needs support, we could have that private secret property to bail him. Would it then have been a bad investment? No. He would be like, oh wow, thank you for doing this. Now this property has bailed us. You understand? So all these are things that I feel. And then when I was young, I did obsess so much about plans and things and that. So if you're watching right now, don't obsess about plans and about your vision board and your dreams. Go with the flow. You can't control everything. You can't control how people feel about you. You can't control how people use you when they need ideas. Hey, Jackie, where are you? When they need wisdom. Hey, Jackie, where are you? When they need counseling. Jackie, where are you? When they need money. Oh, Jackie, where are you? And when you need them, they will be running. Exactly. You see that happy picture of friends. Also remind yourself to hang out with your friends. I did have lots of friends, like people that should have been my acquaintances, but a small circle of friends that eventually, as I grew, those that stayed with me, that I have kept to now. And along the way, I've also met some people that I think are friends. But also, most importantly, good times do not equal to money. So find joy in those little moments with your family, with your friends. Because, hey, when you go out to eat a nice meal, you will not remember how much you spent, but the laughter, the joy, the conversations together. So stop trying to control life, and have fun. And also, you stop controlling what people think. You can't. There will be many different versions in people's heads and hearts. When you don't have kids, they will say she does not give birth, she's barren. And when you have kids, they will say those kids probably do not belong to her husband. You understand? That is just the society in which we live. But what matters the most? That you are living life. You see that picture of a mother, and are you that mom? Are you a young mother in your 20s? And maybe are you a single mom? Do you spend time crying and regretting instead of doing that, taking nice pictures with your children and creating beautiful memories? So yeah, think before you totally give up on your life that I was in a happier situation, or today and last night I did go for fellowship and the message was hope. And then today, right now, as I was sharing with you, I remembered the scriptures that were shared about hope in the Bible. And now, hope in your life at whatever situation you're facing. As long as you're alive, do not write yourself off. Even you, do not write a living man off. As a wife, probably you'll support your husband through all his bad times. Well, question is, will he stand by you when you're down? Will he? Most likely, we don't know. But that is why you, as a woman, as a man in your 20s, as a guy in your 20s, watching the show today on the Deweyi Drive, ask yourself, the people you boyirawo omubiri bajja gukuyirawo oba bajja kuwa ebibyo nga time etuuse basobola okuwa ebibyo ne weewuunya naye nga gwe wali bayirawo omubiri teweesevingirawoko kasente nga bwakakolanga ng'okaleeta kati bo batuuse okikwata and they're thinking useless. They don't need you in their lives. You understand? And that is just the way life happens. So, and the other thing is about boundaries still. While I have emphasized it's important to keep family relationships and friends, and even in our marriage to create friendships, but in all these circles, we must draw boundaries. As a mother, draw boundaries. As a wife, draw boundaries. As a husband, draw boundaries. If your money is your money and you don't want your wife to touch it, show her early, immediately. Show her that this relationship has nothing to do with finances. Wanotukuza baana, nothing else. You understand? If you're a sister and your sisterhood is about just talking family matters, then draw boundaries. But is that a healthy relationship? Draw healthy boundaries. Disrespect. I do have some quotes for you, Stuart. Stuart is my producer that you will also benefit from. Respect and disrespect. These things, you guys, these things are important. Being kind does not mean you are weak. It means you're strong enough to accept everyone for who they are. And that's where people go wrong, because you're young, you're so welcoming, and you've made money quickly, you're spending easily, you're the giver of gifts. And what Stuart is that quote in purple? I don't know if you've seen it. So, things like those, and you're giving, and everyone is like you're the soft target, because whenever they have a problem they will run to you, and then when for them they are happy they will not need you because you're as good as that. So being kind, they did share briefly on people pleasing. I will get to that point. When I was younger, my younger self, I was a people pleaser. I have pulled out and discovered that part of me really late. A do-good, the one that wants peace, the one that doesn't want to see. You guys, you don't know. But when you're lucky that I'm sharing these things with you. I'm giving you big sister talk, that I am a firstborn and nobody took me through these things. Nobody had these honest conversations with me. And I am giving them to you for free on this show. Friday is Personal Development Friday. It's glow up, grow up. And part of glowing is growing up. Growing as in no kura. So, let's talk about anger. You know, when they say, oh, busung, that's the quote I did want you to see. Being kind does not mean I am weak. It means I am strong enough to accept everyone for who they are. Now, when you learn that, you'll also learn this. which is the next quote that Stuart is gonna share with you. It's okay to be angry. We are raised and told you should not be angry. Anger is very okay. Repressed anger keeps you in pain. How you are you in love? You know, in your 20s, when you're young, when you can't speak up to your elders, and I'm not saying speak up, but when you can't go later, when they come to tell them, you say this, but I feel like this, yeah? Anger is very okay. Repressed, as you see it circled, repressed anger keeps you in pain because you love this man and you're from a traditional family. Bagamba omusajja bwakunyiza teka amazzi mu kamwa oziwa omumwa toyogera toyomba tokola chi. No, when someone shows you how they feel about you, listen to them. And I'm about this, I'm talking about the good and bad feelings. Yes, so do get annoyed. You are allowed to get annoyed over big things, but just do not let people walk over you. There is a difference between accidents and misfortunes and straight out disrespect, all in the name of love. This is my high school sweetheart, I will stay in this relationship. You know, when you're young, you just cry. That is all you do. How could he do this? He went and talked about me with my friends. He did this. I am heartbroken. No, when you're older, if you're young, if you're in your 20s and your early 30s and you're just watching the show right now, you're in luck. You have a big sister telling you all these things. I'm telling you, nobody prepared me for life. Nobody told me that betrayal is real and it will come from the least places that you do not expect. But it will happen. And people will still feel like, bitch, hello? Why are you angry? Why are you pissed off? Why? Because to them, you don't have a right to feel. Have you seen why you're in a relationship alone? And this relationship is only surviving because this man feels like you love him too much. You have sacrificed too much for him to let you go. So that is the kind of relationship whereby even when he's making business decisions, he will not involve you. Why? Because you love me too much. And I will not. There's a Kenyan couple, size 8. Reborn. I love the woman so much, but if you've been watching her, they got remarried and I'm so happy for them. But you look back on the videos and the comments, people used to say, they say, oh, size 8, you love DJ Mo so much, you love this man so much. And he actually did step on her until she walked out and did work. Yes, thank you so much, Stuart. My producer has given you the perfect quote. You cannot force a person to show you respect, but you can refuse to be disrespected. And you know, when I was in my 20s, I took a lot of disrespect. I could not speak up. I could accept things, but you know, these things, don't take them lightly. So that's why it's important to know when to quit, whether a job, to know when to quit a relationship, to know when to quit a friendship. And you're like, you know, this friendship, it was good for this point, but right now, I cannot take this toxic energy in my space. Not yet. We're not yet at the people-pleasing space, but we will get there. I think we will. Yeah. So when you're in a space and maybe you're many friends and the vibe is that, the kind of vibe you're seeing on the screen, you're happy friends, not because you see each other all the time, but because they're boundaries. And then you can relate. So do not think you know less just because you're younger. When I was 20, the elder colleagues of mine in Monitor, some of them did really bully me, I should say. They did bully me indirectly, but they did. When they think they will just throw any comments at me, and I was so young. And then, you know, when you come on such a space and they're like, where did she come from? And your face is on the billboard, and you're shining, you're performing. So it happens when you're younger, be it on a job or in a relationship. Oh, that was me on CCTV Africa. So I'm telling you, my 20s, hey, they were fire. And I think I grew up so fast because I'm a firstborn. Probably I looked older than I was. But yes, my 20s, I was working. I was in a corporate space. I was working with big people. I was trying to look like them, to fit in like them. So you're lucky right now. I'm telling you that if you're in your 20s, if you're younger, even below, and you're watching this video, do not think you know less just because you are younger than the people in your space. It's not always the case. Do not let people belittle you and hold you down just because you're the young one in that space and everyone is making you do all the chores. Bring me tea, do this. They're making you the office messenger because you're young, and we all go through that. But you need to set your boundaries respectfully. Yeah? Respectfully. The other thing I wish I knew, just because people act like a friend doesn't always mean they're your friend. They are not. You guys, me, there's a time I was jobless. Mom! Oh! I learned who my friends were. And some, I think I have a gift of patience and perseverance. I am telling you, I would still not talk to certain people today. And when my life got back on track, they started to look for me to say hello. But hey, people will show you pepe. People will even fear to pick your call. So if you have never faced job loss and you're lucky to probably have a job, or you're in a business, you started early in your 20s right now and you're watching, or you're in your early 30s, please, please, please do prepare for a day when there's a business loss. Do prepare for a day when you do not know what next, but you should have some money on you, so you're not calling people, see me through what, even that boyfriend that loves you so much, hey, ajakwetama, because now you're a dependent. They may not even say it, but that's how you lose yourself. You lose your self-esteem and forget who you are, just because you thought, oh, everyone is my friend. I have lots of friends. I have so and so. I have this and that. I'm checking my phone because that's how my producer communicates with me. Maybe he's saying something. I did see him typing. Yeah. So you drop me a message. Please just subscribe. This show, I put my whole heart into it. You can tell I always speak from the heart. I always share myself with you. And if it does make a difference for you, do give me a subscription. And yeah, we'll be good. And kindness. I did speak of kindness earlier. Kindness, gentleness does not equal to weakness. And my producer did share with you that quote as well. The right people will not mistake your kindness for weakness. They will respect you because you're kind. They will respect you because you're sweet. My friends, we've not been in touch in a while. Producer Vince Musisi, he used to be at Swang's Avenue. He used to tell me, Jackie, you're so kind. I don't know, I think it's a thing with Bagisu. They are so loving. And he was right. I think he would say, Bambi, this girl is so sweet, so kind. And he would tell me, you're so kind. It's one gift you have. So, you see how you remember the way your friends made you feel? We've not spoken in a while. But the right people will understand that you're just a gentle person and loving person. As crazy as I am, as stubborn as I am really stubborn and I can be a big head. But the softness in me, if the way people have stepped on it and walked all over it, do not let yourself be in that. You're lucky someone has told you. And most importantly, do tell the people you love that you love them and appreciate them. During COVID, we were hit with a blow. Our guardian, my uncle, rest in peace, Francis Masoba, he was like our second dad, my sisters and I. And then he suddenly died. My goodness. I don't know, sometimes I think, did I ever tell him how much I loved him? Did he die knowing I appreciated him? I'm sorry, I got emotional, but you need to, yeah, that is him on the screen. You need to let the people you love know you love them. I'm so sorry, I got carried away, but you know, when someone you love suddenly is no more with you, and you go through life, and you wish they were still there to guide you like they used to, you know? Anyhow, this show is not supposed to make me emotional like this. Yes, so that is him. He was in the office of the Auditor General. If you know him, drop some hearts for him, even if you don't. So it's very, very important to let the people you love know that you love them, because, hey, I tell you, one day you will miss them and their wise counsel, and they will not be there. Now, let's talk about some of the characters I had in my 20s that I pray you do not suffer from, or you do not have to live with. People pleasing. We did have that poster, that chart, and I think Stuart will show you. Banange people pleasing. When I was young, I was that sweet person that wanted. No, those are the consequences, but the signs. Let's get to the people pleasing past first of all. What? No, another one on people pleasing. Signs. The scientifically. No, the next one. There are three. There are three. We're trying to get you to that point. Oh yes. Now here, this chart shows you 6 backed signs that you are a people pleaser. Now if you in any way, as we go through this, you realize you have any of those habits on the chart, hey, tap yourself and say, I need Jesus. You do need Jesus. And you're lucky that today this conversation is happening, because this show is about growth. You know, hey, I was a people pleaser. I would be the one who wants to buy everyone on their birthday a gift in my California money. No. I would be the one that wants to see the peace, the one that wants to be friends with everyone, even the people that are impossible. Because I'm thinking, okay, this family, oh, let me try to be sweet with them. Whoa! As you grow up, as you grow up, especially if you are a people pleaser and you're not yet married, you're going into a relationship, and if you're going to suffer, you'll always be on your knees, you'll always be crying, you'll always be doing housework, go for memere, go. No, it's okay to do it, but you'll be the one that has no space. You're expected to do these things. And let me tell you, even if you do what, people will not change how they see you, how they feel about you, even if you gave up your entire life. Okay, first of all, let's define people pleasing. Now, before we get into the signs, people pleasing is constantly seeking validation and approval from others, or you can say often making other people happy at the expense of your own happiness. Like, you're not in position to show up at an event, but because this is my boyfriend, how will he feel that I wasn't there? But you're just not able to do it. You don't even have the money, you're going to borrow it. That is you people pleasing. That is people pleasing. And then, it does manifest in different ways, that people pleasing. It's over-committing. You commit beyond what you can do. There is a wedding and you're saying, I will be the MC, I will be the one that cooks, I will be the what. You want to make these people happy and show them you love them exceptionally. Hey, my dear, my friend. Watch yourself. Watch out. Also, people pleasing, when you keep saying yes to everything. I used to fear to say no, by the way. There was a colleague of mine called Ben Winnie at some point that told me, Jackie, I noticed something, you fear to say no. Yeah, every time the boss would say, can you do this? Can you sit in for so and so? I'd say, yes. And one time Ben Winnie told me, I don't know if you know him, he's now at Next Media, but he was my former co-host at KFM. I didn't share the picture, but yeah, if you know him, you do. And he told me, Jackie, I want to talk to you like your big brother. You fear to say yes, that's a dangerous thing. You need to start editing, revising it. And at that point, I didn't realize, but Ben was right. I would fear to say no. For me, everything they'll tell me to do, I would say yes. Even a show I'm not ready for, can you do it? Yes. Can you show up for this event? We are at Night Riders for the Ken night, and I'm not able to, I'll say yes. Now that was manifesting in work. But now, when you usually have such a trait, it's not only showing up in your work, it's also showing up in your relationships, in your friendships, in your boyfriend-girl relationships. It's just happening. So constantly seeking reassurance, you're expecting people to say, you're good, Jackie, you're kind, you're awesome, you're amazing. So why do we people please before we get to understand these things? One, maybe we fear rejection. I used to be a fear of no's. I would fear to come and ask for a job, for a promotion, for a salary advance, and they turn me down. So I try to be so sweet to my supervisor so that when I really need them to come through for me and maybe put a signature for me, they just say yes. Fear of conflict. I used to fear conflict. I used to fear if recently I found myself in a situation that broke me. And the younger me in my 20s, I honestly would have just said, okay, is this what you think is right? Yes. But I was like, no. I had to step down from a project that I had given myself over 11 years of dedication. But I said I will let go. Painfully. It's not what I wanted, but something small happened that gave me a picture of what the future of the project would look like. And I knew that if I don't quit now, I will be left hurt. I would be left broken. I did my crying and made peace. So it's okay. When you fear conflict, my dear, you're going to end up wasting time, giving all your resources where you shouldn't. So this is growing up. My 20s, like I said, they were great, but there are lots of mistakes. And right now, you're learning from my 20s and my 30s, by the way, in a way, though I was focusing on the 20s. So the cost of people pleasing, Stuart had just put it on the screen. I think you can share that again. The cost, you wanting to please everyone. But now it will cost you burnout, because go yagalo okudduko chali abazadde bonna in one day. Go yagalo okudduko bele ku birthday parties on now. Okay, let's just go. No, that's not the one. Yes. Burnout. You say burnout is number one. You want to be everywhere. You're always exhausted. You're always tired. And when you're tired, probably you're coming home to an uncleaned house because you are helping. You weren't to your mom. You helped her clean. If you love your mom, bless our mothers. My mom is my life. Then you went to your sister. She needed help ironing. And you're like, oh, my sister, let's iron. And then before you know it, someone was sick. Your niece, nephew was sick. So you ran away, left your sick children in the house, and first took your nieces and nephews. You know, it's love, but it needs to be realistic love. You lose your identity because there are poor boundaries, as you see there. Poor boundaries. So for you, everyone will make you do each and everything. But when you set boundaries, people will know that Jackie, she will not do this. She will not do that. Whether we went through her husband, whether we made her swear on her children, she's not going to do that. So it's okay to be known that you have some principles set aside. But when you lose your identity, have you seen a woman who only identifies by her husband? Because she's lost sense of her hobbies. She's lost sense of her friends. Her husband's friends are her friends. Her husband's relatives are her relatives. If they are from the village, she's probably gone there once a year. It does happen to us women. And I'm glad we're having this conversation in Women's Month in March, where you have lost yourself, you have lost your identity, you probably had your savings to buy yourself a kaka, and the man said it wasn't time, so you didn't buy. Now he's going to buy a car, akumanyire, and he'll probably buy it in his brother or his sister's name. Why? Because he doesn't want you owning it. Do you see? Because you're losing yourself, and now you're going to end up with resentment. You're going to end up so hurt, emotionally impossible. And that's how you become a hopeless person. And when you're a person that has lost hope, you're in a dangerous state. You have nothing to lose. You'll start doing things without shame, without dread, because you feel like the world has been unfair to you. And unfulfillment, even in your relationship, you'll always be left the one that's unfulfilled. Your husband, because whenever he wants to do something, you do, at the expense of your time, at the expense of yourself, you will do nothing. You're the one that will always have a bad hair day. You're the one who is always wearing rugs because my husband, my children, they'll come first. And it happens to us a lot. I have been myself in that space where I never bought myself something probably for a year. I'm taking care of my children. I notice when their clothes are burning out. But then I'm like, hey, look, my lingerie, what's happening? When did I last buy myself a new bra? When did I buy myself new undies? You need to think about yourself too. That is what we mean by grow up, personally growing up. So, because you're people pleasing, so I'm showing you this people pleasing, you're not just outside, even within your family. And everything you touch is just your children. But are your children happy seeing you? Your children will be happy when you're smart as their mom and they're like, Mommy, you're smart. My son Mufasa says, Mommy, wow, smart. You look like a boss. You understand? So because they say, oh, today Mommy does look smart. But when you keep wearing those rags and making the kids smart, the kids are smart, but they're emotionally feeling like, is our mom happy? Is she not okay? So there's disconnection because you've been making everybody else happy. You have lost touch with reality. You do not know who loves you for you anymore. You do not know if your decisions matter because you actually do not make a decision. When your husband says, we are buying land and we shall buy it in the village, you say yes. Even if it's your money, you say, sir, here. But I mean, then where is your brain? You are born with a functional brain, but you have let yourself go. So, how do you break free from all these consequences of people pleasing? You now don't know how to set boundaries. You are burnt out. You are emotionally a wreck. You are looking like the helper. When people knock, they'll ask you, Mukama, Madam wari na inga yigwe Madam agudde wo olujira flat yo, apartment yo, or enyumba yo gyewezimbira wadde kazigo konga wakezimbira bakubuuza Madam wari na inga yigwe, because you have made everybody happy. You don't have time to even oil your face. It is worked out. Your skin is breaking out. My skin recently was breaking out, but because for other reasons, health reasons, but it does happen. But imagine if right now I'm speaking to you and you feel like you're in your home, but you look like the visitor that has come to ask for help. That is so wrong. So we have looked at the consequences. Now, is it possible to break free from people pleasing? Of course it is possible. Very possible. I don't know, Stuart, which of those charts haven't we used? We've spoken about the consequences right now. There are 3 of them. Anyway, let me wait what the producer will give us. But it is possible to practically stop this habit. One, set healthy boundaries. But before you set healthy boundaries, accept, know that, Banange, this is, yeah, now that's where we're going. How to stop being a people pleaser. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But one way you will stop, the first thing is by knowing that this is the problem and I am facing it. I am a people pleaser, and this is why I'm paying the price. And let me tell you that people you please will not value you. If you take your security and give it to someone to get a loan, hey, to get it back, and they will not understand, even if it takes 20 years, they will not understand that you made a sacrifice because you're a people pleaser. This is what you're supposed to do. You gave it to me because you want to be my friend. That is the reality of life. So that chart you see in the corner at the top of the screen showing you how to stop being a people pleaser. You're going to learn to practice saying no. This is you learning to practice self-awareness. Saying this, I don't want it. I'm going to say no even if it hurts other people. If this marriage is going to be hurt because I am choosing not to be in a toxic space, then you let it be, because then that means it is not healthy for you. Then learning to set your priorities. Can you make that first big so we can go through each of those things on the screen clearly? Learning to say no, I cannot take this. So practicing to say no, setting healthy boundaries, consider your priorities. Exactly. For you, when do you sit and say, okay, I am into this space of creating content, but maybe my husband is a doctor. You're always running in his office. You're the one that helps him. You're doing the Nancy's job. You're never able to do yourself. Maybe your dream is to start business. You're not able to even to start the business at home because you're running elsewhere all the time. And what about you learn assertive communication? Where you say this is happening, in as much as you call it disrespect, especially when it comes to, if you're in a relationship or in a marriage, usually our husbands, when they have an idea or have made up their minds, whether it's going to hurt you, they will not think twice. They will do what they want to do. So when do you make the decision for yourself? You take it? No. That's when you say assertive communication. You're like, look, my husband, I love you very much. In fact, I married you because I appreciate you, but you are not going to make me go mad. This is emotionally going to destroy me. And if maybe it's a business you share together, how about you split the business and then you set the marriage? I've seen people who work together, and because the work was destroying their marriage, one of them steps down and they're like, you know what? Let's just raise our children. When you make money, I'll give. I will take what you give me. When I start a business, I will do it on my own. And then you're saving the marriage. What else is on that chart that I am not able to see yet? We spoke assertive communication. We looked at excuses. Okay, we're creating excuses all the time for other people. And you say, no, this person is not mean. Positive self-talk, reminding yourself of your worth. Do you know there's a time I had lost control of myself? I had lost control of my worth. And it took my sister Barbara telling me, Jackie, I don't know what's happening to you, but you've stopped believing in yourself. Yes, I had stopped believing in myself. And then that's why I told you it's important to build family ties. My sister Barbara, she's even younger than me, and she sat me and said, Jackie, you're this Jackie, reminding me you're the Jackie Deweyi. Do you know yourself? Google yourself. And I was shrinking emotionally by the day, because like I said, there's a time when you wake up and life has hit you, and then you don't know what next. So, and then if you're young and you're lucky to watch right now, it's very important to have self-talk. Remind yourself, doing these affirmations when you wake up, reminding yourself, I am blessed, I am a child of God. If you want to add the scriptures, go ahead and add them. And you just say, I am awesome, I am a great mom. And then your mental state is going to register it and believe that, yes, you are a great mother. And then you don't have to wait for your husband to say, your husband will wake up and say that, look, you're not a good mom. I feel like our kids would do better if you gave more time, because he wants you to quit work. So you're going to quit a job to make him happy and believe that you're a good mom, because when he said you're a bad mother, you're not working, you quit the job. You see, this is the reality of life. When you're young, you will do so much for other people. But when do you come into this picture? My girl Lynn is watching. Thank you, Lynn, for watching. Yes, I do appreciate you. And then what is it? I wanted to find that poster. Let me just check my producers posters right now. I feel like there's one we haven't used. Yeah, what was it? We did choose the poster on the 6 backed signs of your people pleaser. I think we went into it briefly, but we needed to exhaust it a little more. I just don't know if the time is still on our side. How much time do we have, Mr. Producer? Like how much time? I need to know because sometimes I get carried away into these conversations.
15 minutes.
Okay, we still have about 15 minutes. Okay, thank you. So, like, I was talking about these signs earlier on, but we didn't finish. I spoke about overcommitment and then avoiding confrontation, whereby because this is my boyfriend, because this is my sister-in-law, because this is my elder, because this is my boss, they're going to tell me to do all the things. They're going to ask to meet me after work hours, and I can't say no, I'll say yes. Yeah, that is people pleasing, but you're not comfortable meeting your male boss beyond work hours. You know what he's going to want to do with you. Now, because you fear confrontation, you avoid it, you will not. Seeking validation, you're always waiting to see what people think about you. Perfectionism. Like I said, live life, go with the flow. Life does not have a spare. We were having a conversation with my sister last night, and my niece, I think she's 7 now, Skylar, was saying at school they had taught them, and we were so impressed with the schools now. And if you're a teacher watching this show, big up on yourself. She said, Mommy, do you know school? They taught us that life has no spare. We said, Mommy, that if you die, there's no coming back. The way Daddy goes with his car and he fixes it, and in the morning it's fixed, and in the evening he comes back driving it, it's not possible. This is a child in P1, and she's telling me this conversation. And she said, Mommy, and her appetite has been bad. And then she said, I didn't want to eat food. Mommy, give me my food. I'll eat it because they told us life is so short. When you're presented with an opportunity to eat, you don't know tomorrow. Now, when you're a perfectionist, you will forego all these happy moments. You will not eat because so-and-so is crying. You leave food cooking, and your kids have not even eaten. You leave the nanny to serve them because you want to run and then see your friend who is crying and is broken. And after you talk to that friend of yours, they'll go back to their boyfriend who made them cry, saying, Jack is the reason we are breaking up. She was telling me this is a toxic marriage and a toxic relationship. So this perfectionism of you wanting to be the perfect friend, wanting to be the perfect life, how about you be the perfect version of yourself? It will make you want it. It will make you feel good that you are a happy version of yourself. Stuart, kindly enlarge that poster on the screen one more time, please. Stuart is my producer, and I do appreciate him. He's from Clap Records. I'll be telling you more about what Clap Records does in a bit. But hey, this people-pleasing topic, it is big. So as we're going through that people-pleasing chart and the things that you need to know, what are some of the ways that you have invested time in your relationship? Go ahead and share in the comment section. I'd also like to know that have you done an audit as I was doing this show and realized you're a people pleaser? Has it cost you? Are you battling with it? Have you worked out yourself way out? Have you found a way out of people pleasing yourself? Please do leave me a message. Let me know that you're watching. I get to know when you leave this feedback and you leave me these comments. It's very important to have strong, supportive friendships in our lives, but it doesn't mean that we should drain ourselves making them happy. Your friend needs money, big money. They need $1 million. You can only give them 100,000. You go borrow $1 million for them, and then maybe they are not able to pay that $1 million. You go and borrow again to pay for that friend. Do you know the people who live in those circles and they are heavily indebted? Me, my dates that I've taken, I am responsible 100% for them because they have gone on me. But this being in a situation where you're struggling to get out of debt, and then it's for other people, you are doing things for other people. You are a man in love, trying to please a girl. You took a loan, you bought her a car, and now she's using that car with the boy that she likes, who is driving this car with your fuel from your salary, and you're still financing this loan, servicing a loan, because you wanted to make a girl happy. You wanted to feel like you belong to her class, and maybe she seemed really high for you. Do you see what people pleasing does for you? It happens to girls as well. There are girls who really want to please their girlfriends. Like, I want to be the perfect friend for you, and this friend of mine comes from a rich family. Then I will start to go out of my way to take them to places that I can't afford. I am borrowing to maintain this friendship so that this friend does not leave me. And when they ask me who is your best friend, I say this friend of mine is Wava's daughter. This friend of mine is so-and-so's daughter, because they come from a family, a popular family. You are becoming a social climber because of people pleasing. Do you see? This thing is big. Stewart, back to our poster. What did we miss out on that chart? Hey, you guys. We should not take these things lightly. Dependent happiness. That dependent happiness is the same thing I was talking about. Your happiness depends on another. When your husband is sad, you're very sad. Yeah, it's a good thing, but is it normal? And then how is he going to tap into your positive energy? I thought when a husband is sad and they find a wife who is emotionally sane, she's able to give wise counsel. But because my husband is not eating, I will not eat. When he goes to work, he's going to eat chicken. He's going to eat everything. You're here not eating. You're taking water the whole day, because when he's not at home, I cannot eat. Hey, I remember that video Model Music posted sometime. Ngakozoveka video yako mutakaza mu throwback. Ngagamba ekisambi kya mwami gwe tekikuwoomera. Enkoko mwami yagirya gwe tekuwoomera. Kino kya mwami Joyce gwe takuwoomera. Like, what you're giving others, also give unto yourself. Pour from a full cup. Do not pour from an empty cup, because there will be nothing left to give. Yes? I do hope that you really found this conversation useful. I do hope that you did, because that is what this show is about. The Deweyi Drive is about helping you. It's about real conversations that happen. Reminding you that Building Experts is located in Nakasero on Market Street. Yeah. Stuart, are those the details now? Okay. So yeah, this is our client, Building Experts, located in Nakasero on Market Street, Capital Shoppers Plaza, and they have all finishing material, tiles, sinks, bathtubs, showers, name it. Anything you want. Is it a smart home you want? They will guide you. They will show you. They will help you fix it. Call 0392 914 256. I'll say the number again for you. 0392 914 256. And then, of course, Stuart of Clap Records and that company are the stars of live streaming and videography when it comes to events. Is it a kwanjula? Is it a birthday party? Including photography, by the way. But right now, the most important service needed in this digital era, I think, is streaming. And there are not so many people that can do an expert job. As you can tell, the show is a live show. You're getting a great picture. You are able to watch me and get me live on a daily. Is it an easy thing? Of course it is not easy. So if somebody is able to give you this, what more can they do? Test them. Call 0752 616614. I'll read the number again for you. 0752 616 614. That is Clap Records. Anything streaming, anything camera work, videography, photography, that's the guy. And also reminding you that Mufa Pendo Stays is giving an offer between now and 1st April. There is a discount if you want to stay in an Airbnb. They got you. Call 0773 35 6837 or go to the Airbnb app and do book yourself into Mufa Pendo. And reminding you that the interior decor at Mufa Pendo was done by Deweyi Interiors. Yes, if you want anything interior decor, I am here. I can guide you. And do not miss Tuesdays, where we talk about Pimp My Space Tuesdays. We share different tips on home decor. If you have a question on how you can organize your space, I can guide you on how to do it. Interior decor is a gift. The way people study music and the ones that make it the most are the ones that actually are gifted as artists. You too could be a passionate interior decorator, but you are not sure. So do not miss Tuesdays. And if you want me to host you on the show so you can talk about interior decor and you love for it, please do not miss the Pimp My Space Tuesdays. And reminding you that Paint For You is a partner of Regal Paints. Yeah, that you can see that bag rates and Regal Paints bag. You can call them on 0773 356837 or 0772 987 442. Paint For You, or you can just leave a message here on the show and then we will get back to you. Paint For You are the ones that are giving you authentic Regal paints, automotive paints, decorative paint, anything, name it, paint For metallic, are you into metal fabrication? Paint for You is the place. They do deliveries as well, and they can guide you on the kind of paint and the different colors you want to get, because there's a lot of dupes on the market, so you should be very careful where you're getting your paint from, who your distributor is, and who you're buying from. Otherwise, Paint for You Wedi Vaina original Regal paint in all tribes and all types for all purposes. It was a beautiful, beautiful show. Fridays are about glowing up and growing up. So glowing up, part of glowing up is starting from the inside. Yes, because when you have all these issues, you're pleasing everyone, how is your skin going to get better? Yeah, because you can tell I'm an Afrocentric girl. I'm not the kind that is overly doing makeup. So really, is this you? Are we relatable? Yes, then if we are, it starts with our mind and our peace of mind. I do hope that you don't take anything in a negative, but if you have any feedback, I do appreciate it. Olga Daniel, thank you for watching. Lean, thank you for watching. Wherever you are, thank you so much. Do take care of yourself. Ciao, ciao. Have a beautiful weekend. See you on Monday.